Hello, hello, my green skins, and another movie for Bond Month. We, I believe we did Doctor No,
Yep.
and we are now either Russia with Love, and we're going to be doing Goldfinger as well, but not in this one. We'll have another video for Goldfinger. So, what did you think of From Russia with Love?
Honestly, it is one of my all-time favorite Bond films. It's definitely in my top three. Definitely.
You
Depending on
know,
my
it's
mood, which one I
kind.
like more, but it changes. But the top three will always be Doctor No, From Russia with Love, and Goldfinger. But this is just it's an insanely brilliant movie.
It's surprising that this one is actually one of the more realistic Bond movies. Like it starts getting really over the top after this movie. Um, which makes it very grounded. I surprisingly like this movie. I liked everything about it. It was a decent movie.
Oh yeah, it is realistic. I mean, Doctor No did not go over the top with gadgets, but the base thing, like Doctor No's hideout,
Mhm.
was that's the over the top part. But here, it's like, no, I can imagine everything actually happening, even the
Well,
gadgets. It's
well,
like what's the main gadget? Like,
the
what's
suitcase is
yeah,
the main gadget in that one. That's the we're getting it. We're getting before we get into the legendary Austin Martin, which is in Goldfinger. It's quite good. And yeah, no, that briefcase, like that's something that's real. It's like if you think about it, that's easily made. Like on the two right corners of the suitcase is where you carry bullets. You can carry 12, there's 12 bullet canister, so you can load a gun with your
yeah,
magazine. There's a small amount of money in both. There's about enough. I think there's like I think that was about $100.
50 gold sovereigns. Just little pieces of gold that you use to bribe the bad guys or
So what
buy
what what
whatever.
is 50? How much is 50 gold sovereigns anyway? Just hypothetically. I actually don't know.
Hmm.
Like if I was to walk into uh if I was to walk into somewhere like Casablanca or somewhere in the Middle East, because that's where it takes place, which is weird that it takes place in Casablanca of all places.
I
Like how
think
much is 50 gold sovereigns?
let's find out. I can do a quick research. I think
Okay.
well, according to Google, uh, and this is just a quick research. I could be wrong. Uh, oh damn, there's just too much terminology and there's all of ifs and buts. But I'm guessing $250 for one gold thingy for one of
Oh
those
my
things.
God. Wow, that's a lot of money. And imagine that. Imagine that back in the day money where gold hasn't lost its currency base. Oh wow, I just stuttered a lot. No, so let's break down from Russia with Love. So, first of all, what did you think of the music in this one?
Oh, Bond music from those days is the absolute best. It's classic. It's pure, not like the later Bond films where they try to add more modern day
Mhm.
orchestral tunes and they add synthesizers, or a bit of a techno aspect to it. It's like, no, this is just classic, the best.
Mhm.
This is Nat Bond in his natural habitat.
Mhm.
And the music,
Yeah,
oh yeah, the opening theme. Not the best, not my favorite, but that's the only low. That's the lowest part.
yeah. When Rush, yeah. As a whole, it was a great movie. I was very happy about it. It actually made me.
Actually, it's kind of strange now that we're talking about the music. Every Bond film except this one, and obviously Doctor No, but you know how the main song is the theme is the title of the movie.
Mhm.
Well, in this one, it's the ending song that's the title of the movie. From Russia with love. Like, you don't hear that at the beginning. You hear that at the end of the movie.
Oh, I never thought of that. I guess it does, eh?
I mean, there might be some other exceptions, but at, at the moment, this is a fact that I'm bringing up about this movie.
Hmm. Good movie though. Like overall, really good movie.
Oh, remember that scene when he's inspecting the room that in his hotel, and there's that big music which where he's doing very little, like he's just looking at the back of the mirror
Oh
of the
no, yeah,
picture.
yeah, 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 and
I
it
was,
slowly picks up and then drops off and then picks up. This was, I honestly think this was the most espionage of the Bond movies, and this is right when we step into Goldfinger, which Goldfinger really does do that. But anyway, the music had perfect stings. It was decent, like actually a surprisingly good music stings, and very very good music overall. Now, what did you think of the acting?
okay, Sean Connery just doing being James Bond. You can't get any better than that. Robert Shaw, great actor. You know, most people know
Uh-huh.
him from Jaws, but from the movie Jaws, not as Jaws the character. Just
Uh-huh.
so we're clear. Um, yeah, the guy who plays Karim Bey, he's I forget his name. I'll get it in just a second, but he is a Mexican actor. But I was convinced he was Turkish. That's how good he is.
They were all good. Like overall, it was a decent. It's decent. Like that's the thing about Bond movies. They're pretty decent. Like I can't hate them. I can't hate on the acting. It was pretty well done. There's some hokey moments in it. Oh yeah, there's some cheesy moments, but yeah,
But it all comes, but it's not on purpose for the sake of humor. Like, oh yeah,
yeah.
I have to give the name of the actor, the Mexican actor who
Uh,
did a Turkish well, Pedro Armendariz. You know, gotta give him a shout out because he should not be forgotten because he was that good. Because
yeah.
he died a year after this movie. That's the sad thing.
Oh really? Oh okay.
So I've read at
Um
least.
yeah. So my it was okay for acting. Now well, we'll do the story last. The effects, well, clearly, we just talked about the effects. There's nothing more to
Yeah,
really say.
I mean, the worst effects you're gonna see is the very couple of blue screen
The
effects. That's
blue
the only thing.
screens, yeah, but that's of its time. And if I think this was the one with the boat scene and the boat scene with the explosions and stuff, there are actually a couple guys almost goddamn died in that one, from what I heard. Because a couple of guys they got lit on fire and they weren't supposed to get that lit on fire apparently, and oh yeah, I've heard some stories about that boat scene. So good action. As for the story, what did you think of the story?
I think it was while this movie it's definitely a follow up to Doctor No. It's
Yeah.
also done in a way so that you don't need to watch it, you know, because Doctor No is only mentioned once, and that's just like it's just glossed over. But the fact that this is a revenge story, they want to
Mm,
get back at Bond for killing Doctor No,
mm,
and they try to lure him to get crypt a decoder, a crypting device, a cryptography device,
mm.
which the British want, knowing it's a trap. They just go in, and
Okay, yeah, we don't want to spoil too much, but it's an old movie. But um, I'll say this about it: it's a decent story. It is a decent story. It's not the greatest story, and the ending makes you wonder. This is right around, I think, this goes on for a little bit for Bond, if I remember correctly. Like like I think this is where they kind of don't they transition, and Goldfinger has nothing to do with Spectre,
um,
and
yeah, Spectre's kind of out of it for this one, but
yeah, and
for that
the
one,
next one coming up, yeah,
yeah, for
and this one
Goldfinger.
was pretty decent, yeah,
It's
and
just that
overall,
it's not the
go ahead.
story. It's just when you narratively, it's not about what's going on and why. It's about oh, Bond is in this situation. How is he gonna get out of it? Kind of. That's the
Mhm.
point of this movie. It's not about oh, who is Spectre? What do they do? Why do they do this? No, we don't care about that now. Or not the details at least. That's gonna come later in, I guess
Mhm.
Thunderball or no, what's it called? You only live twice.
I can't remember. Yeah, because I know they kill him off in one movie. There's some interesting stuff. I don't want to spoil too much of the Bond movies, but this was decent overall. A decent movie, a good movie, and you know what? what's to say? Like sometimes it's better when it's a shitty movie, and sometimes it's easier when it's a good movie. But it's like, what can you say about a decent movie other than go watch this movie? Overall, I'm giving Rush from Russia with Love a 7.
Dude, I'm giving this a 9.5. This is just as near perfect Bond film as you can get, in my opinion. And I
You know
think that,
what? I'll change my score. I'll give it an 8.
I mean, if you're a Bond fan, you have to see this movie. Like I said, this is pure Bond. Like, I'm sorry, but all the Bond actors that came after, well, no, all the Bond movies that came after the top three have their ups and downs, but this
Mhm.
is to me as the among the best.
I think this is the most grounded of all the Bond movies. This isn't over the top, but it all depends on what you want. Like I hear a lot of people say Charm is a good Bond movie, but some of the charm of the other Bond movies, some of the crazy gadgets in the later Bond movies, but this one was really good. And overall, I had fun with this, and this was a decent movie. Like I couldn't remember this movie for the life of me. Like I had to rewatch it again to remember it. But this one, damn, this one's pretty good. Like, yeah, I'll give it an 8. Like, this
So,
is a solid movie.
so would you say rewatching it almost felt like watching it for the first time in a way?
No, rewatching it reminded me of how awesome this movie was. This was a good movie. Every once in a while, it's good to polish off the old Bond movies. Like, I was working on it 90% of the time while I was working on my book at the time. And I would, quite often, I'd have the tablet on the side. I'd be just watching the movie and completely forget about working on it. So that's a good sign. There, 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 there is a good movie here, and it's awesome. I think it's very well done.
Yeah, this is a movie that I think appeals to people in general, not just hardcore Bond fans. Although hardcore
Hmm.
Bond fans should watch this, but it's a normie movie. It's not, maybe because it was a second movie. It doesn't feel like it's part of a bigger franchise. It feels
Hmm.
like it's creating its attributes rather than following them. And say what you
Yep.
want about Daniel Craig, but I think that they're trying to shit all over what this movie established Bond as a character, like his movies.
Mm, I would say, I don't want to say too much on the Craig stuff right now because there's no point at this point. I'd rather honor. See, I look at it like this right now. I'd rather honor Connery and the awesomeness of Bond than poo poo on Craig. If we get to Craig's movies, then I'll have a shit on Craig. Um, but I'm not. Well, it's the fact that his movies still aren't on any streaming sites tells you something right fucking there. Like literally any streaming site I want to watch, there's not a single Bond movie on them. So it's
You,
just like, well, I'm not going to waste my time.
dude, I'm convinced if MGM or whoever owns the Bond films, whoever owns MGM, I don't know what the chain of command is, but
Not
the
anymore.
prime owners of Bond, if they released just um the Connery films
No,
in
they
like
they
one
do.
set, they will make a
They do, and
crap
they're
ton of
always
money.
sold out. They
They
do, and they're
do,
always sold out. Yeah.
like just Connery
Oh,
Bond,
oh,
no one else.
yes, yes,
Wow.
yes. There's called the Connery Collection, James Bond, and they're usually sold out. They're like, yeah, I've seen them quite a few times.
Interesting.
Like when they go with the special edition Bond, like there's something called the James Bond collection, and it always makes gangbusters. Like especially in my area, but Bond is a respected character. He's awesome. So yeah, that's well we could say with Russia from love, from Russia with love, man. The next movie is going to be
I want to say,
Goldfinger, and
actually, I want to add
yeah.
something too from Russia with Love and the old Bonds in general. They don't
Okay,
spoon
go
feed
ahead.
the audience how things are supposed to work and done. It's like if you're a fan of spy films or if you know anything about spy stuff, you just go into it and you just pick up
Hmm.
things. Like one of my favorite scenes. I don't know if you noticed this. There was a scene where Robert Shaw's character was he ordered red wine with fish. Now I'm pretty sure unless you're a wine connoisseur, I'm not. But even I could tell when Bond looked at him for a brief moment, he thought that was odd because red wine is eaten with red meat. Even I know this, and I don't drink.
Mhm.
I can't imagine modern audiences picking stuff, little hints, little stuff like that up.
But the question is, does that switch over to Goldfinger? Eh.
No, it's like
Let's just be honest. We'll be talking about Goldfinger very shortly, and spoon feeding Bond. We discussed that in the last movie that they didn't spoon feed you. A lot of the older movies kind of gave you little notes or nods, but they weren't blatant hit you over the head. Some of them were, some of them weren't. But some of them would beat you over the head. This was a decent one. This again decent movie, man. What can we say? An eight, and what? I'm giving it an eight, and you're giving it a freaking 9.1. That's
nine and a
pretty
half.
high praise. Nine and a
Yeah.
half. Great movie. Great movie. So next we'll be doing Goldfinger, and I hope to see you guys there. Like, sub, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you on the next one.